What's up, my fellow dorks? This is the Turtle Dork back with a new review from Lost Weekend VIII. This is going to be the last review that I bring from Lost Weekend VIII, and this film is a doozy. This is a powerhouse of a film. This is a film called Gook, and I know that's a derogatory term, but that's the name of the film. But this was just an amazing film, and we are now 2 days away from Lost Weekend, and I cannot stop thinking about this movie. Let me give you the synopsis. Eli and Daniel, two Korean-American brothers, own a struggling shoe store and have an unlikely friendship with Camilla, a streetwise 11-year-old African-American girl. And this film takes place during 1992, basically using the LA riots as a backdrop. So it's interesting as I say that, and I'm thinking about this now. It really just kind of parallels when we're talking about a lot of civil unrest that we're going through now. It's really paralleling some of those social struggles that we're dealing with now to what was, God, 20 years ago. So it just really shows you how little we have come in that time. But this is just a powerful film that deals with race relations in a way that I think we haven't really seen before, because we're dealing with race relations between different minority groups. This is not blacks versus whites, or Asians being marginalized against white people, or Latinos and whatnot. This is dealing with inner cities and the prejudices that we have amongst other races, and this one focuses in on the prejudices between this African American family and this Korean family, and it speaks to so many things thematically that I think really deals with what we're going through now socially in the world today, where we can take, whether it's an incident or whatever, and then we would just generalize how we perceive that race by a personal interaction or a personal confrontation that we may have had with them, and then we just completely just discount and disregard that race because of that. Another thing I think this movie kind of speaks to is the generation gap. When you look at first generation born immigrants, or people, like when you look at like say with the character of Eli and Daniel, and there's an older character who owns a convenience store across the street, Mr. Kim, and he talks about the struggles that he had to do coming over to America and try to make a life for his family. And just to see that generational gap between Mr. Kim and Eli and Daniel, with somebody who came over, understanding the struggles that it was from his homeland and the reasons why he wanted to come to America. And then when you see, the firstborn Americans that come up and not appreciate the things that they have, or take for granted the opportunities that they have. It really shows, and I've seen that firsthand with some of my friends who are firstborn generations in America. And I don't know, it's just this director Justin Chon. He's an actor. He was in, I think he may have had a bit part in some of the Twilight films, and he made another small film called Man Up. And this film right here is a powerhouse of a film. This is showing how talented he is as a director. This reminded me of like Ryan Coogler doing Fruitvale Station. So the trajectory of Justin Chon can go nowhere but up from here, depending on the choices that he decides to make with his career. But this is a strong debut. Well, I guess it's the second film, but this is a strong film that I think if more people get their eyes on this film, it's going to catapult him as a director, because now I'm intrigued to see what else this guy does. To me, it's just an absolutely fantastic film that needs to be seen by everyone. I mean, this is going to open the conversation that a lot of people really don't want to have on many different levels. Like I said, just dealing with the race relations and prejudice that we have between us as minorities, and dealing with the respect factor and the disconnect between first-generation born Americans and their parents and grandparents that have tried to make a better life for them. So this is, I just cannot stop thinking about this film. It's one to seek out. It's definitely one to seek out. So yeah, that's my short review for the film Gook. If you've seen it, I think it premiered at Sundance earlier this year, and it's had some small rollouts in some theaters. But if you happen to catch this film, please let me know what you thought in the comments below. Go ahead, rate, like, subscribe, and share, and go ahead and check out my other dorks, at MouthDork, at TheDiscoDork, and at Sidewalk Siren. And as for me, I am the Turtle Dork, and with that, your boy is out.